Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Little Big Man and welcome back to Friday Night Football. This is basically where me and whoever else fancies chatting shit about football just chat shit for however long. Um, Essentially, the Poundland version of FTW, where I make it a podcast because I can't be asked to edit. Um, this week I've got another Manchester United fan. He's not Irish, Jack, so don't worry. It is Dan. So round of applause, everyone.
Woo, yeah.
So, Dan, being a Manchester United fan, obviously January wasn't the best month for you. Um, care, care to share your
No, it
thoughts?
really wasn't. The, another transfer window where we don't get what we want, where basically everyone in the league knows what we want and what we need, and no one does anything.
It's always been a CDM is the issue for you, isn't it?
Yeah, midfield, that midfielder role, that one defensive midfielder, it's just been elusive for about 4 or 5 years.
I mean, obviously in the summer he's managed to get like Sancho in finally after years of trying. You managed to bring in Varane to help bolster the centre back position. Obviously, you brought Ronaldo back, which I mean I've said it previously. Like I think it was personally just to sell shirts and kind of bring the fans in. Um, but I do feel like it kind of was an unnecessary signing for you to make.
Yeah, I feel as if uh, the hype of Ronaldo returning back to the Prem to United has sort of like worn off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously his first weekend back, he scored two against Newcastle. So obviously it was a bit of a pain for me to experience. Obviously being a Newcastle fan, but it was nice to see Ronaldo kind of back in the Prem. Obviously hasn't quite been the honeymoon that we thought it would have been. Obviously, like I say, in 2022 he's been very much below par. Um,
Yeah, but he's 37. He's coming back into the most competitive league in the world.
mhm.
He's not a young man anymore, and he's still done quite well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll have
Yeah,
to see
so
what happens in the summer. Like, you've got Cavani still, you've obviously got Raya, Ronaldo. Obviously, off the pitch issues have kind of hampered other players, but yeah, obviously, it'll be interesting to see what you do in the summer. Because obviously, like we mentioned just before starting recording, you've got Ralph Rangnick, one of the like I don't know much about him, but from what I've heard, one of the smartest people in football going into a kind of director of football roles. So he's going to be a serious bit of competition from next season.
yeah, I think he's never really been a manager. You can see from all the other teams he's managed in quotation marks. He's brought himself on in that role. He's definitely a coach over a manager. It'll be interesting to see what he can do.
Definitely, definitely. Obviously, a lot of names that have been linked with the Man United job, especially in the past year or whatever. Obviously, you've got the likes of Eric Ten Hag, who's probably the favourite. You got Poch, Zidane's been mentioned. Obviously, Conte was mentioned before he joined Spurs. Who would you say is your ideal candidate?
I mean, ideally, we you know have a regen of Fergie from a couple of years ago, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very hard as a United fan because you get linked with everyone under the sun, even if link isn't real.
yeah,
Uh, we any big transfer, there'll be a tweet from someone that says, "Oh, United have tried to sign them," and then there's absolutely no proof. So there's a damn thing. I don't even know if that was true. Would have been nice. I don't even think it was true. But Ten Hag's the one I think everyone wants. I think pretty much everyone other than Glazers have said we want them.
yeah. I mean, look, he's done wonders in the Dutch league. Obviously, he's turned an Ajax team into a very good team. I mean, most notably the 18-19 season when Ajax went through the semi-finals, unfortunately falling to Tottenham. But yeah, obviously, I mean, he's a good manager from what I've seen. Obviously, I've seen videos based on the way he plays, obviously, stats, shit like that. So obviously, I mean, him and Ralph could be a very big kind of duo to help Man U get back to that promised land. I mean, obviously, if with a bit of luck, you could go back to winning league titles. Obviously, competing with at the minute Man City and Liverpool. So it will be interesting to see what can happen there. Obviously, I mean, I forgot to mention Graham Potter as well. He seems to be a name that floats about quite a lot. Do you see anything with that, or do you reckon it's kind of just a bit overhyped?
For no reason.
Fair enough.
You're right.
I mean, obviously, like Brighton, to be fair, have done pretty poor as of late, but it'll be interesting to see who comes in at the end of the season and what you can do. But it just depends on the backing, really. Like, are a bit weird with transfers, in the sense that you obviously sign good players, important players, but kind of the wrong positions that you need to improve on. Really, I think it's something Chelsea are kind of in a nasty habit of doing as well. I mean, obviously when Frank Lampard was able to spend the money, he fucking bought in anyone and everyone. I think for the sake of it. So
Bought Sancho to play on the right, and he plays on the left because he's better there.
that's the thing, isn't it? What is your
You
front?
can't plan that.
What is your attacking position? Because I think I'm pretty sure you have changed from the 4-2-2, haven't you?
Played on Morali, which is pretty good because that's clearly the one that works for us.
Yeah.
And I think I think Alanga's playing really well. Rashford's dropped off, but he isn't as young, but he's also not that old, so he could easily bounce back.
Yeah.
And I think Sancho, when you watch him, you can see why we spent the money. He's clearly one of the two people in our attack that really wants to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bruno's playing well. I think everyone thinks Bruno's playing shit because he's not the centre of attention anymore. It's Ronaldo,
Yeah.
and I think Cavani and Ronaldo haven't really been playing that well recently.
Mm-hmm.
But Ronaldo is I can't remember. Is 4-time Ballon d'Or winner. I can't remember.
5, I think
He's
he
going
is.
to be able to find the positions.
Yeah. Wait, like you say, obviously. Well, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, his 2 goals against Newcastle. One of them was right place, right time, if anything. So it's. I mean, obviously, people could take the piss saying he's a tap in merchant, but realistically, like you say, right place. So can make the runs
Yeah,
to get into those positions.
he's an older man. After his injury when he was at Real, I think it was in like 2014 where he did his knee, and he's had to stop being that winger that everyone remembered at United.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly one of the best goal scorers. Well, he is the best goal scorer of all time.
Oh yeah.
He's got 9 goals in the Premier League already, which is for someone who's 37 and who is apparently finished, it's not bad.
Mm.
But I think we got lucky last season with Cavani because he was just incredible.
Cavani, yeah.
And we used him brilliantly. Didn't start every game, didn't play every game. If he came on, he really made a difference.
Yeah, like he's that sort of super sub.
Yeah, and I think with our January transfer window where we actually got rid of people, put them on loan or sold them, we've actually lost the squad depth that people said we didn't have already.
Yeah.
Like I know Martial wasn't playing well when Van der Beek wasn't being played the way he wanted to be and stuff, but you can really see we're having to rely on not very good players anymore, or we're having to give chances to youth players who are under a lot of scrutiny because our youth our youth has brought through some of the best players to have played in the Prem,
Yeah.
and it's like, uh, we haven't got that, young-ish but has some experienced striker or player to come on.
Right, that's the thing. Obviously, like you say, you got rid of some of the squad depth that like you said, people hadn't said that you have. Um, so I was quite surprised to not see you bring in anyone. Um, especially, I mean, I don't know how many you were linked to. I didn't really keep many tabs on Manu, but I know that I think there was a few floating about here and there that you were maybe linked to. I don't know if it's proper rumors or what, but um,
I think it's just hard for us as a club to say we're definitely going to buy this player because we don't know who our next manager is.
oh, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Obviously,
Ralph was never going to be our next manager. He's doing the job for what it needs to be, and then he's going into a more like counselling role.
yeah. But no, I think some of these will definitely make a lot of transfers, make those important. I can see he's actually signing a defensive midfielder in the summer.
Yeah,
Um,
you'd hope so, but with United, we always have to overpay. Uh, it's a fault of our own success in recent years.
yeah,
You don't want to sell your good youngster to United.
yeah, that's the thing because obviously you basically we especially back in the day used to be basically destined to shine. Obviously, there's the few that kind of could have been but weren't. Like you Makeda, I think that's how you pronounce it. Obviously, he had his
Yeah, McKay.
moments, but fallen off. But no, I could
Yeah, I
see.
feel like we have a really toxic fan base.
Yeah,
Like as soon as a single player does anything of particular note, like that Makeda goal that everyone remembers him for, he was he's the next R9 apparently for like a week, and then he did nothing for the next games or however many other games he played for United. And then he went on loan, and I forgot he played for us. And then we sometimes we have a habit of going out and buying a consistent player or an older player that's done well that we don't get rid of when the time's right, and we give a silly contract to,
that's
like
it.
Mata and Matic. How they're still in our club, I don't really understand.
Matic, I'm very surprised. Matic, I know, can maybe be a kind of cup player or like a bit of leadership in the back to bring on and maybe I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
you know he's I don't even know how old he is, and he barely plays cup games. And if he does, he comes on in the 80th minute.
Oh,
And it's just, why are we still paying him as much as we do? And Matic, I can sort of understand because know you need a solid midfielder in inverted commas if you need to hold on to a win, which we don't have.
yeah.
Especially if McTominay gets injured or something, we need that person in the midfield that's going to try and win tackles.
Hmm.
But we're not going to get that with Matic. We need a young player that's going to defend.
Someone that'll be able to actually run.
Yeah, and I think under Ralph Rangnick, we've seen a sounds dumb, but we've seen a resurgence of Fred. Like
Yeah,
we've seen why we'd want to pay however much we did. I think it was 50 million back then.
50 million.
I think it was something like that. It was something silly.
A quick search.
But like there's a lot of people that have to be bought at that price for United that you wouldn't pay if you were any other club in the league.
Yeah, 52.5 million.
Which it was a silly amount of money
Jesus.
for someone who was relatively untested in the major leagues.
Yeah.
But he seems to have found a little bit of footing recently.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, it could just take the right manager to kind of bring a bit of life to a few players. Obviously, I know at first hand. Obviously, you got Joe Linton, Ryan Fraser, uh, Lascelles. He's kind of coming around now. Like, there's a few of our players that are kind of, I'd say, being the players they really should be because of a new manager. So, obviously, for you, I think it'll just once you get like a proper manager in, I could see a few of your players starting to maybe show why they should be in the first team. Maybe McTominay might find a bit of consistency because he seems to be an on and off player.
Yeah, he'll go through games where he's like absolutely unreal. You know, I know people say in the Leeds game he probably should have been sent off, but he was going in for every tackle. He was being that, United Keane-esque midfielder of I'm going to clamp your legs and win the ball.
Yeah.
And then other games he can't make a 2-yard pass.
I mean,
It's just inconsistency with our club.
I was about to say that. I think it's just the whole thing of your club, really, just a bit of inconsistency.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like it's a club of individuals trying to not be individuals.
Yeah, you're trying to gel 11 different egos.
Yeah, or and then when you see the players that really buy into the United thing, you can see that their egos aren't there.
Yeah.
Like players like Alanga and Dalot, they're my two favourite players at the moment because they just, get their heads down and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Dalot didn't come through the academy, but he was still very young when we bought him.
Yeah.
And he's turning into a pretty good right back this season. I've been really impressed with him.
I was going to say that. I mean, Wan-Bissaka has been a bit poor, so obviously it's bound for change. But Dallo, from what I've seen, he has been quite good in the games he's played.
Yeah, I just think that Wan-Bissaka was bought for his defensive abilities, and no one really saw what he was like going forward. And
Yeah.
the modern fullback that Liverpool's shown us with Trent and Robbo, you can't be that poor going forward to be a modern fullback, and he's just too short to be a centre back.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a weird one because the first couple of seasons we bought him, first or second season, he was unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the 4 games he played against City, he made Sterling look like he wasn't playing because he just had him in his back pocket.
Yeah.
But football's moved on in the 4 years since then.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Obviously, football's an ever-changing sport, so many different styles. I think at Palace, like you said, I mean, it was a while ago, but the way they play, they don't play with like the bombing fullbacks. So I think they like to keep a pretty straight and defensive line. Obviously, you'll see like Van Arnold or whatever kind of bomb up and get involved in the attack, but
Yeah, I think there's Van Arnholt could go up and attack, and you'd have Wan-Bissaka stay back, be like a three in defence as opposed to the 2 that we basically have, with Maguire's playing the 1 in defence that we have.
yeah,
And I think our back line has potential to be one of the best in the league.
yeah,
You look at Shaw's form last season and for England, and he was absolutely unplayable. Him and Rashford was like that left side was just so deadly, and then we got to the final. That happened. I couldn't sleep for a week,
oh wow.
and then he's come back and he's been shit.
Final was a weird one for you.
Yeah, I felt, I feel like people had just expected us to win, and I think people forget how good the other leagues are,
Yeah,
just because it's always a 2-horse race in the league. But you're clearly a good team if you went forward in the Europa League.
yeah, definitely.
And then, penalties is 50-50 at the end of the day.
That's true. I remember watching the penalty shootout actually with I can't remember how many of us were in that fucking mud chat, but it was a fair few. I'm pretty sure. Were you there for it?
No, I was watching it with my brother.
I know there was a few Man U fans. I think Louis might have been there and Tristan, but it was just I don't know. Like if for a few of them, for Villarreal's, I didn't feel worried for them stepping up, or for a few of the Man U ones, I was actually genuine like panic because I didn't have any confidence in some of them.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, you know, penalties are such a mind game that, you're either going to do the Jorginho hop or you're just going to do a centre back thing and just twat it.
Yeah.
Some people don't seem like they've made their mind up as they're walking up.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, you've got to make your mind up and you've got to stick to it. So it's, I mean, it's easier said than done. Like obviously, I haven't anyway. I don't know if you've been in a kind of penalty situation or a football match or whatever, but it's at that sort of level. It, I mean, if
Yeah, and for a final as
well,
well,
that's the
it's just
thing.
hard.
I mean, obviously, Euro final, we'd have felt the pressure from that. So
The Euro final was after it.
God, I bet the summer was a bit rough to be a Man U fan.
Yeah, it was horrible. An English Man U fan. I watched two penalty shootouts and we lost it. The last three penalty shootouts that I've been supporting the team, I have lost.
Oh damn!
Yeah, Middlesbrough, England, and Villarreal.
I think it's.
It's depressing.
I think it's only two for us this season, or this year even. For me, obviously, I mean it was only Burnley in the Carabao Cup, but still a shite penalty shootout.
Every penalty shootout's horrible.
Yeah, true, true, very true.
It's only okay if you're a neutral, and even then, because
yeah,
like for the Carabao final, I was watching it with some Liverpool and Chelsea fans. Oh, it was just so like tense in that room at all times.
well, that's the thing. People say that it's only the Carabao Cup and that, but it still means a lot to a lot of people. Like, I mean, the scenes when like the offside goals would go in were incredible, especially Liverpool's when Matip scored.
Yeah, I think rival fans love to say it's not a real trophy. Every trophy's a trophy. It doesn't matter what it is,
But that's the thing.
unless it's like one of the ones from the friendlies at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they're a bit meh.
But like, if you're at Wembley and you're watching your team, you're gonna celebrate if it goes in.
Oh, definitely.
You know, Jurgen can notch it down as another thing he's won.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, for years it's been a case of especially the big six. They'll play the shit team, and obviously, if they get through far, then obviously they might start to try. That's why Man City have obviously won four in a row because the squad depth they've got is ridiculous. Obviously, they can get away with playing a B team.
Yeah, well, I also think it's a great opportunity to blood the youth players.
That's the thing. Obviously, you get them, you break them in gently to the squad, and then eventually you can start them in the Premier League matches. Like for say Phil Foden, obviously he was starting off in cup matches, and he's, I mean, one of the better players that you'd have for England.
Yeah, and then you looking at United teams. It's given like play time to Robbie Salage's kid,
But yeah, that was
that Zidane Iqbal, and you know Shortire and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alanga probably played a couple games in there, but he got played right at the end. I think it was our last game against Wolves last season
Hmm.
when we'd already got second and we couldn't like lose that position. And I remember he still scored a pretty good header.
Oh, okay. I
So you know, the youth is always an interesting part of cup games.
That's true. I think people always look at it and just think, "Oh, playing the shit team, they clearly don't care." Which I mean, they might not care, but at the same time, they trying to help bring youth through and kind of break them into the first team. So I mean, what was it, 3 year ago something? Liverpool played their fucking under 21s or whatever, and they still beat Everton.
Yeah, you know, I think you have to play those sort of games with youth players,
Hmm.
like because especially for the start, like the early rounds of the cup game. You know, if you rock up with your full squad, you know, it's a bit of a piss take.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a, want to make a football game about it, out of it, but we can also blood our youth players, get them playing, give them the opportunity to play in a shirt for the club.
definitely, definitely. I mean, you mentioned before that we went on to the cup. You mentioned about Maguire. Now, I've seen a lot about the players and that kind of losing faith in Maguire. I don't know if you know a great deal about the situation or not, but I saw, I think it was someone that's just said in that mod group, but it seems to be a bit of disarray in regards to Maguire being the captain.
Yeah, I don't really understand how he got captain. I don't even think he was Leicester's captain. He sort of just came in and was given the captaincy. I don't really know why. But then, we've had a few games where Bruno's been captain, but he wins you way too much.
Yeah, he knows me.
And a bit like Ronaldo, he whinges a bit too much at the moment for me to say, oh, he should definitely be captain.
Hmm.
And I don't really like when football teams have their goalkeeper as their captain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I watch a lot of rugby and I'm a fan of rugby, and I hate when all the players surround the ref. It should just be the captain going out.
Yeah,
Can't do that if he's keeper because he's got to run the length of the pitch.
true. Very, very true. Um,
But then, this whole Maguire thing, I feel like I think he was a panic buy.
you think?
Yeah, I think people looked at the fact that we had Lindelof and Bailly was constantly getting injured. Phil Jones wasn't being played. Xavier was a bit young still. And they went, oh, we're going to panic. We're going to buy someone who played well in the World Cup for us. Paid a stupid amount of money for a player that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, no one would have said anything if we paid 80 million and he became brilliant.
Yeah.
But he's not the modern centre back. He's a very, very old school centre back.
That's the thing. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. Obviously, like Liverpool, when they paid their 75 for Van Dijk, it's worked for them. It's, I think, a bit
Not
unfortunate.
nearly worked for us.
Um, I,
Yeah, every club that as soon as you go over like the 75, the 50 mark million pounds, everyone goes, "Oh, that's a silly amount of money. Are they really going to be worth it?" Lukaku, Pogba still gets questioned on it.
yeah.
Van Dijk's been brilliant because he is brilliant.
Yeah.
Alisson was however much he was, and people don't really care about him anymore. Not like they don't care, but they don't care how much he costs because he's proven his worth.
Yeah.
But then I feel like you know people need to realise that prices change a lot with inflation.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, I mean,
Well,
past few years, prices for players have just risen constantly, so it's become a money sport, really.
yeah, money talks in this game nowadays. And looking back to however many years ago I think it was the 90s when we bought Cantona for 1 million, and everyone went, "Oh, that's a ridiculous amount of money to pay for a footballer." Now you've got 16-year-olds going to youth teams for more than that.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, we paid 25 million just to get a release clause for a fucking 36-year-old.
Yeah, and you look at the silly release clauses in the Spanish league.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the Spanish league and how it works with the release clauses.
I think it's so that because the way that Spanish players do it, the Spanish transfers are a bit different to English transfers. Because I think you talk to the player more than you would talk to the club.
Okay.
And I think a release clause or something is to buy the player out of the contract.
Yeah.
And I think they give the money to the player to buy themselves out of the contract to then move to a different country or to the different teams or whatever. But I don't know. Spanish league just it's another league.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on the other leagues. I'm not gonna go on like I'm a fucking like say Bundesliga expert or whatever. But
Yeah, I just feel like there's probably not enough coverage of it.
yeah.
You know, Premier League is above and beyond the most competitive league.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I know we have City who spend a lot of money and who have dominated it for years, but still, Liverpool have won the league, Chelsea have looked brilliant and have made really good signings. Arsenal are on their way back.
Yeah.
Tottenham, Tottenham United have actually had some pretty decent league finishes in recent years.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, you've got Man City dominating the league. There's been twice Man U have finished second in the league in past 5 years.
Yeah, it was under Mourinho and then under Oli. Which, you know, is ridiculous for the players that we have when you look at it.
Yeah.
But these things happen. If you can get the results, you can. But no one cares who comes second anymore.
That's the thing. Obviously, it's if you come first. Obviously, that's probably the more important. Obviously, you got first. You got Europa League, Europe qualifications even. Um, Obviously tabs are kept on that, and then it's obviously bottom three. And other than that, I don't think anyone actually cares about where anyone finishes really.
Yeah, because as soon as you're out of the relegation zone, and if you're not in the top four, if you're not in a chance of the top four, no one really cares where you finish. You could be a point above relegation. It would probably be exactly the same reaction as if someone was a point off top four.
Yeah.
And like we used to, I remember back in the day when we used to mock Arsenal fans for celebrating getting fourth, and now every club is.
Yeah, it's weird to see how like Arsene Wenger leaving was. I still stand by it, a poor decision from Arsenal to have him forced out. Um,
Yeah, but I feel like you in respect to Wenger,
past
he
bit.
was untouchable in the first couple of years of the millennium,
Yeah.
and then you know for whatever reason Ferguson and then Mourinho came in and won some trophies with Chelsea, and it was very hard for Wenger to bounce back
Yeah.
because I don't think they got the money that Chelsea and United had to spend on the bigger players or give people the contracts to make them want to come there.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, I mean, Arsenal is still a big club, but it's just they weren't able to have the drawing power that Man U did.
Yeah, and I feel like you know, sadly, it's testament to the fact that what's his name, Van Persie left Arsenal to go to United. I just that was all forever a weird transfer for me.
Yeah.
Like he was literally the best player at Arsenal, bar Özil, and he just went to their one of their more historic rivals.
It's just one of those, really, isn't it? It's
It's money managers talk.
that's the problem.
As soon as you lose faith in your manager, the player won't want to play for them.
That's the worst part in it when the player loses the the
Yeah, because
mentality.
you know when we were under Mourinho and Pogba were arguing, you can see Pogba couldn't play football. He was terrible, and I'm surprised he never left during that time.
I say Pogba's been wanting to leave for a while, hasn't he?
I think he has, but I think he also wants to play. Like under Ollie, you could see he was really enjoying it. Like the couple of games where we played him on the left, the game against Leeds or someone where he got 4 assists. He clearly wanted to play.
Yeah.
And he felt secure and he was happy where he was. And then, he got injured and he stopped playing as well. And because we don't have that defensive midfielder, we can't stick Pogba and Bruno and just let them go wild.
That's the issue, isn't it? Who is the
It all stems back to the
right? There's always a route to every issue, isn't there?
yeah. Our attack is great on paper. Our defense is great on paper. Our midfield is not great on paper. If you lose the midfield battle, you lose the game.
The issue in it. Who do you think is the ideal CDM target to go for? Obviously, I know Declan Rice is probably going to be your answer here. But you've got like Chelsea that are interested in going in for him again. So, who else catches your eye?
I mean, I like Declan Rice. I think he's a very good footballer. And I think he's really funny person.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not spend £100 million on an English player.
That's the thing. Obviously,
I'd
English
rather
player,
go
homegrown talent, and that.
to I'd rather go to another country and try and find someone.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where I thought Kessie would be brilliant, and then I realised that he plays quite far up the pitch for AC Milan at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he's one of like an attacking sort of midfielder. But he's the sort of midfielder you want, the tall, strong, and going to win the headers.
Mm-hmm.
You want a tall, strong midfielder and a shorter midfielder that can run around, like the Kante Matic pivot. It was incredible. And if Fred's going to play the way that Fred's playing, I don't mind him being the smaller one that's going to run around and win the ball more.
It's just trying to find that taller midfielder to kind of sit there, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't really, I can't think of any really tall, strong midfielders that would want to come and not leave where they're playing. Like Locatelli turned down a move to Arsenal, which I think would have been a really good move for him.
Definitely.
Chouameni, I think, is going to be really expensive. Jude Bellingham's probably a bit too attacking, or you'd want to play more attacking. Just for the price you're going to pay for these players, you want them scoring goals because everyone cares about stats nowadays. Rather just have someone that's going to go in and 2 foot someone who's pissing them off.
Well, that's the thing. Like you say, everyone cares about stats. So, like you mentioned a while ago, like Bruno has been good this season. Obviously, he's not quite had the chance to shine as much as he has in the previous season because obviously, like you say, Ronaldo's there, so he's there to take the limelight. But like Bruno has still played, and from what I've seen, he's been decent.
Yeah, it just comes down to our attack not being able to score because I think Sancho and Bruno would probably have a lot more stats and assists because that's what people care about if we could actually put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And then people would stop caring about who they are. And they're both playing very well. And it's again that defensive player, and I have no idea who we'd get.
I'm sure he'll find someone. So.
hopefully whoever our manager is going to go, oh yeah, I've known this player, whip it out, and he's going to be the greatest midfielder to have ever lived. Do I believe that'll ever happen? Probably not. But it's nice to think that because there's probably players in the smaller leagues that are playing really well that we just don't get the coverage of.
Yeah.
Like, the Portuguese league is a perfect example of that. Like the Portuguese league, some of the better players that have come into the Prem have come from there. Ruben Diaz, uh, uh, Bruno, this Luis Diaz who looks genuinely insane.
Yeah, he looks quality.
There's probably somewhere in that a defensive midfielder who's going to be perfect for our club.
Hmm.
But I don't know, and it's depressing to think about the fact that we're probably not going to play anyone. We'll spend another 60 million trying to replace Maguire.
Oh god, well, like I say, it'll be an interesting window for you. But to not depress you anymore, we'll move on to, I'd say, more positive matters. But last week's Premier League results didn't exactly go in your favour, so we'll talk about Marcelo Bielsa getting the sack. Obviously, you'll be happy to hear that. Hitting Leeds.
I think he's really good. He was a champ. Definitely, like in the most outrageous respect, he's a championship coach.
Yeah.
Much like Mitrovic is a championship player, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Bielsa ball did not work in the Premier League.
I was thinking, I mean, obviously this season they've not had it ideal. Obviously, injuries have kind of dampened them a lot, but
yeah, the spine of their team went. But even when they did, like, they spent 17 years waiting to play against United in the Premier League, and I think in the 4 games they conceded like 16 goals or something.
Jesus Christ.
We beat them 4-2 the other week, 5-1 in the first game. And then even then, like, I think we got 1-0 draw against them, and then the rest were all goals. Goals galore.
Yeah, I think, like you say, in Championship, Bielsa ball worked fucking wonders. So managed to get Leeds out finally. But it's just not working really for the Premier League, and like you say, results are going against them. So he's gonna get the sack. It's kind of the way football is these days. But yeah, so obviously you've got Leeds looking for a new manager. Conte must be happy. Spurs have won another game, but he'll be fucking depressed again next week. So
Well, they just got knocked out by Middlesbrough.
yeah, actually, yeah, good point.
Which everyone like really bullied United fans because of it. But then, like, we had the chances, we made mistakes. We didn't score the penalty. We didn't. Bruno missed an open goal, and they went to penalties. But in that extra time part against Tottenham, Middlesbrough looked like a really good team. They knew what they wanted.
Mm.
As soon as Conte put them into a back four, it was like a really, really old Tottenham, like before Poch Tottenham, where they just couldn't hold the ball. There was just so much space on the wings. And it's hard because sometimes you go into a club, you have the way you want to play. Conte likes to play with his 3 back and his very attacking wingers, but they also come back. If you don't have the players, you're always going to be struggling, and it's always going to be the manager's fault, not the players.
Yeah. I mean, begrudgingly, I obviously hate Borough. I don't like to see them do well, but to see them knock out 2 of the big 6 is certainly a fucking great achievement for a championship club. So,
yeah, I think they've played really well, and I think rivalries aside, very, very well done to them.
Yeah, oh, definitely not. Well done. I mean, my boss, he's a Borough fan, so he's dead chuffed about the results. So it'll be interesting to see how they fend in the quarter final, though, as the draw was done about 25 minutes ago. So we've got Southampton playing Man City, we've got Middlesbrough playing Chelsea, so that's another big game for them. We've got
The way that Chelsea are playing at the moment, the fact that Mount misses those open goals, Pulisic wasn't playing well in the Carabao Cup final. Yeah,
yeah,
to play for.
yeah. Obviously the replays between Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield. Winner of that goes on to play Liverpool, and then Palace going to play the winner of the Everton Boreham Wood replay.
Well, that's going on at the moment, isn't it?
Probably not replays. Actually, I'm full of shit. But
Yeah, Everton Boreham was currently kicked off about 3 minutes ago.
I'm so used to seeing that in it being a fucking replay. So, oh, Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield play tomorrow. No, they don't. Play next week. 7th of March. When's that? This Monday.
That's Monday. Yeah,
So
they're playing on Monday.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens when it gets nearer the quarterfinals. But who do you at this point? Who do you feel is the favourite to win the trophy?
Currently, it'd be Liverpool. They're in a really good run of form. City haven't been playing very well. They've been dropping points, silly points, and not really dominating how you'd expect them to.
Yeah.
Where was it? They played Burnley or someone recently, and they slogged out a 1-0 win.
I think it was Burnley. Let me have a double check.
Oh, it was Everton to the 82nd minute for them
Yeah.
to score against Everton, who aren't very. They're not playing well at the moment. They're pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, no, definitely pretty terrible.
City you'd expect for a team like that to go 4-5-0 up.
I have to think. I mean, based on Everton's form, especially, you'd think City would just cruise through it. But I mean, the scoreline, obviously, just very narrowly. Stats in itself, if I can bring them up here.
I think they had an XG of 2, 8 shots on target and stuff.
That's it's not great, really. I'd say, but
No, it seems like they didn't really get very far with the first half. It's probably where they stumbled. But City.
obviously you had the very
Yeah, just,
controversial VAR decision. Um, VAR once again being
oh
shown.
yeah, that was horrific. That was so bad.
It confuses me the inconsistency of VAR.
Yeah, and it always seems to go towards City.
Yeah,
Like it
City or
probably
Liverpool
isn't the
seem to
case.
have it in their favour quite a bit.
It probably isn't the case that they're paid off the refs, but it's getting to the point where it's getting really hard to say, "Oh no, I don't believe it."
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got the Rodri handball. You've got
The
what
Yao
other decisions?
Moutinho handball
Yeah,
that
the Yao
hit him on
Moutinho.
like the armpit. Yeah,
Um,
I think the refs and VAR have been the worst thing about this league.
oh yeah, definitely. Referees are shite, and VAR just doesn't fucking help its case, really. Um,
Yeah, United have definitely been on the luckier side of a lot of VAR decisions last season, especially.
yeah.
But I still think they're terrible.
Mm.
There's no like set rule where it seems the rules change every time that they go to VAR.
The rules just don't seem to make fucking sense half the time. I mean, for example,
Oh, like the Middlesbrough equaliser.
yeah, so that hits his. I actually saw this the other day because obviously that one hit his foot and then his hand, but Reece James got sent off when basically the same thing happened to him, but it was more of an accidental.
Reece James was hard because Reece James was blocking a goal. So, it was blocking a clear goal
Yeah,
from where it hit him. The Middlesbrough on it's because the rules are worded so poorly. Oh, because he didn't score from it, it's not a handball. He directly benefited from it.
yeah.
It's just VAR is just so inconsistent. It hurts.
Yeah. Obviously, if we had Cash here, we'd have a fucking 30-minute rant. So,
Oh,
yeah.
we like to take, we like to make jokes that he's making it up, but they have had some horrific things not go their way.
They have.
Like the Holgate stamping, that's just a red. That one where McArthur just, just like tries to volley Saka. It's just bad. Like I know some of their tackles, like some of Xhaka's tackles, are just red cards.
Yeah.
But I also feel like they're getting very unlucky sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Like you say, as much as we like to take the piss out of them for the constant tweets during matches, it kind of does seem a bit unfair that they do get the wrong end of the stick when it comes to refereeing decisions.
Yeah, which is some game you can understand. Some games, a ref will think about, well, actually, no, I think it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like every week they have a major thing go against them.
Yeah.
Every club will probably have some VAR decisions go against them. It's just the consistency at which they go against them.
Definitely. So I mean, obviously we'll mention the Carabao Cup final a bit better. So obviously we've got Kepa helping Liverpool to win it. So
Yeah, I've been through that before with the Europa League final. Goalkeeper missing him when it's 11-10. It's horrible. You just want the penalties to be over in the 5 main takers, because it gets to the point where it's sudden death, and you're like, oh, I just hate every part of this.
Yeah, like I mean, for me as a neutral watching it, I was actually quite nervous watching the penalty shootout, just because I mean, for both teams, it was difficult to see them do poorly, but I don't know. I feel like keepers were in the goalkeeping sense. It's a weird one penalty shootout because, like you say, it was 11-10 overall, but
I think it sounds dumb. People expect penalties to be like they are on FIFA,
yeah,
where a keeper has a very good chance of saving it,
mm-hmm.
but like there's only really 3 ways you're gonna go as a keeper. You're gonna go to your bottom right corner, your bottom left corner, or you're gonna stay down the middle.
Yeah,
And no one stays down the middle, because if you put any height on it, it's going to be very hard to catch or to save.
yeah,
You think of the Van Dijk's one. There's no chance that Kepa, even if he was stood on like a step ladder, he would have been able to save that.
mm. I mean, it was an awkward tactic from him. In all fairness, uh, it,
Well, Van Dijk probably goes to the left corner every single time.
probably.
He might not feel confident that he could hit the corners on the right hand side.
Mm. But I mean, yeah. So obviously, Liverpool did well to get the penalties win. The 90 minutes in and of itself were actually very entertaining, I thought. I mean, it's been said a lot this season, but it's been one of the better 90 minutes that have been like a 0-0.
Yeah, it was a very good 0-0 draw. I think Chelsea should have won it in the 90th. I think the Mount one where he completely left by Liverpool's defenders and he hits the post. You put that down as the defining factor of the game.
Definitely. I mean, Chelsea had a few chances where they should have scored it and were just short of the
They
mark.
was very tight. Cool.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think
thing as well. Obviously, the Lukaku one. A lot of
the
argument
Lukaku
being
one.
made
I
there.
think the Lukaku one he was off. Everyone was complaining, but I think the rule is if it's off your sleeve, which is the same as a handball. If it was off the sleeve, which I think the rule is, then it's a goal. But it was offside, so.
Yeah.
think the Liverpool goal that got chalked off, that was definitely a thing, because the exact same thing happened to Varane's goal
Maguire.
in the Premier League.
Yeah. I saw that, like, when I was watching the replay back, I saw that Van Dijk was off, and obviously James was trying to get past, obviously ran into to Van Dijk. So I was, when I was watching it back, I was saying immediately that's going to get called off for offside. Same thing happened with Man United with Maguire. So if that isn't given as an offside, it's bullshit,
Yeah, basically.
which,
But
in fairness,
it's a
wouldn't
bit.
surprise me.
I feel like the Liverpool goal was a bit less clear cut than the United one, because Maguire was so blatant about running offside and then just completely checking whoever it was.
Yeah.
Whereas for that one, you can see that James is holding and trying to mark Van Dijk. It's just Van Dijk is offside and is somewhat blocking him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he got chalked off, and it probably was the right decision.
Probably, yeah. Before we move on to the Champions League and the format, before we discuss that, top four race. Who do you think is getting that fourth spot?
I don't really know. It should be Arsenal. If they don't get it, I would be really surprised.
Yeah.
They're 4 games behind us. They're 3 games behind us.
Yeah, 3 games behind. Man U are on 27 games, 47 points. West Ham fifth on 27 games, 45 points. You got Arsenal 24 games, 45 points, and Tottenham on 25 games, 42 points.
And we've got a horrible March coming up. We've got City, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, and then Tottenham as our 4 games this month. I genuinely would be surprised if we get more than 4 points.
Yeah.
And I don't know who Arsenal have as their fixtures.
I'll give it a check.
They got Watford, Leicester, Liverpool, Aston Villa. Watford they should win. Leicester they should win, because Leicester haven't been really good that season. Liverpool they could probably give a game to, depending on how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Villa, I think Villa have actually been fairly poor. I think the start of Lampard's reign was really good, and then it just wasn't.
Gerrard.
Same difference. They're both English midfielders. They're both managing Premier League teams. They're both worse than Scholes. No, but everyone got really onto it. I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Because obviously Gerrard did really well with Rangers.
Yeah.
No one could deny the fact that he did really, really well with Rangers, but
Premier League's
it was
different,
Villa.
completely different
And
league,
Villa.
isn't it? And Villa, yeah.
I think if it sounds dumb, but if Grealish didn't go to City, that Villa could be a completely different side.
Oh,
Especially
definitely.
under Gerrard, it could be a completely different side.
100%, yeah. I mean, Grealish he carried Villa, basically. So, I think after, I don't even think they used the Grealish money for half of the signings in the summer, but, the investments they made in the summer were actually, as a whole, for the season, Villa have probably had the best transfers this season.
Who did they bring in? So they
brought in Danny Ings,
Digne, Coutinho,
Buendia,
Leon
Bailey, yes, and then obviously you've got Coutinho, Digne. Who else have they brought in? Danny Ings was a very surprising transfer, because obviously it was just out of the blue.
Yeah, I just remember I just remember seeing a Fabrizio tweet and being like, I didn't even know that was happening. It's on paper really, really, really good signings.
Mm-hmm.
Or Bailey, or however you say his name, really good player in the Bundesliga.
Oh yeah.
Sadly, been a bit of a letdown coming in. And then they had Twanzebe on loan, and then we called him back and sent him to Napoli. What are you giggling at?
That's such a United thing to do.
Oh, he wasn't being played.
Oh, shit! I didn't even know.
Or if he was playing in a five back, and he wasn't. They weren't playing well
Ah, right. I
because
thought it was a case he's just brought
they
him
have
back
Conser
and
and
then
Mings
sent him
who
off
are
somewhere else.
no, they have Conser and Mings who are
Shite.
playing there, but they were playing. I don't remember how many games he started for Villa. He played 11 games for Villa,
Oh wow.
so I don't know how many of them he started.
Probably wasn't a great deal to obviously for him to warrant being called back and then obviously sent some elsewhere. Really. So
Yeah, well, I mean, even at Napoli, I think he's only played one game.
oh,
They're top of the league as it stands.
are they? Fucking
Yeah, I think them and Milan are joint.
every country's dog's been top of the league in Serie A.
Yeah.
Serie A table. Oh god, yeah. Napoli and AC joint top. You got Milan who are 2 points behind but a game in hand on them. And then Juventus fourth on 50 points. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that Vlahovic does because I think he should have gone to Arsenal as well.
That would have been a very good signing for Arsenal. I think, like you say, I think it would have been a good one for him to go to Arsenal.
Yeah, that's who the midfielder I was thinking of. That Dennis Zakaria. But we were linked with him for ages, and then he just went to Juventus for like 6 mil.
Yeah, he really should have been taken by like a Premier League club or whatever. I know
Like for how cheap he
Dortmund
was.
and Bayern were in for about a week.
Like he was Mönchengladbach's best player,
Yeah,
and he was in the perfect role that some clubs have been missing.
hmm I mean
Like
we
he
were
should have
mentioned
just
from at one point,
scored. You
but
had everyone and their nan mentioned to you.
yeah, that's a good point. Oh man.
But obviously, jokes aside, you weren't going to get everyone. You probably weren't going to get the people that you thought you were going to get
Yeah.
because up until recently, you were basically guaranteed to go down.
Hmm. I think January's a weird one in and of itself anyway. So I think if we were in a comfortable position, we'd have maybe brought in one or two more players, but not as many as we would have liked. I think.
Yeah, I could see you. I would have seen you getting the Coutinho deal,
Yeah,
or like getting Dino or something.
Daniel or the Van der Beek deal as well. Obviously, they were the ones I think that
Yeah, the Van der Beek. I think Van der Beek really would have gone. I think that would have been good for
just
the pivot of John Linton and Van der Beek.
and then we've got a pivot of Joe Linton, fucking John Joe Shelby.
Don't disrespect. Do not disrespect Voldemort.
Hey mate, I'm not disrespecting. We're fucking class.
Yeah, he's like your third best player at the moment, rating, isn't he, John Joe?
uh, I wouldn't say a third, but he's definitely up. He's definitely improved a lot since House came in. I think who are our top best three. I think probably. Hmm,
Dan Burn, that's probably just because he's played about 3 games and not a goal.
Dan Burns class. For 15 million, the fact that we managed to get him at that price, I think, was a fucking fantastic deal.
And so Maximan is just he's really dropped off this season, I felt.
He's so inconsistent; it's annoying. And
Yeah,
because obviously now with how we rely on a lot more off the ball movement, which isn't Saint Maximin's game.
he's the showboater, isn't
Yeah, it's more of the get the ball to him and let him do his work, not rely on or like have him kind of maneuver around and work into spaces to create space for other people.
he? I feel like he'd be like perfect in the midfield, like trying to think of how to explain it. Like the old Coutinho.
Yeah,
Make the space, sling it to Fraser or whoever your right wing is, so they can just cross it into Wood.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like Everton match is a prime example. When Saint Maximin has his moments, he's undoubtedly the best player on the pitch. Uh, it's just trying to get him to find that bit of consistency. So,
It's just such a hard thing to do now.
that's the thing. Yeah, trying to find
Because you
consistency
have
is
one bad
difficult.
game, you have one bad game, and everyone's on your back. Like you saw what happened when Rashford had one bad game, and everyone was going on about.
Yeah.
And then the fans will get into your head, and you won't play.
That's the thing. The mentality can drop as soon as you start seeing the slander. Mentality can drop instantly, and that can knock you.
Yeah,
For
as soon as
however long.
as soon as that happens, you just see the attitude of the player. Like no matter what I do, it's not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
It happened with Lingard. As soon as he went to West Ham, different fans that weren't on his back that were excited to see him play.
He was
Glorious.
class at West Ham.
Yeah, because very low expectations. Not in a bad way, but no one expected him to play as well as he did.
Yeah.
When he started at United, he was just a youth player. No one expected him to be as good as he was when he was playing with it.
Hmm.
Same with Rashford. Same with loads of young players. As soon as they start getting recognised, and then you have one good season. As soon as you don't hit those levels, you're not even playing anymore.
Yeah. Where can you actually see Lingard going end of the season? Like as a Man U fan, what do you see him doing with the options he has available?
I I want the best from him because I really like him as a player. I think he's just a really good person. And I think United want to be nice to him. I think if he wants to leave, they will let him leave,
Hmm.
like they did with West Ham because they let him go and he said, "Yeah, go. We'll bring you back if you want and stuff."
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know any Premier League clubs that would want him or need him.
Mm. I
But
mean,
I don't know if he'd go to West Ham because I don't know who they play in their midfield
I think. Oh, what's his fucking name? Shit.
because obviously Jared Bowen and Ben Rama have been really good this season for how much they were.
There's a cam that they've got who's a bit maybe average at
I
best.
don't even think they. I think they play a three back now, mate. Yeah, they play a three back
Oh shit, I don't know.
now. Their midfield is Rice, Suchek, and Fornals, and then their right back.
Ah, no, wait, I don't know. I just know it like towards. I think it was deadline day. Was linked to with Newcastle and West Ham. So
Oh, the like was he Croatian?
I think he might be the one I'm thinking of.
Begins with a V.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Vlasic
That's the one.
came from CSK Moscow.
Okay.
I think he's injured.
Oh.
Shame.
Yeah, it is a
Oh
shame.
no, he's not. He played 14 minutes yesterday. They got beaten by Southampton.
Oh. Oh, delightful.
I don't know. West Ham had a really good start. I don't think they're going to keep it up.
I can see them getting Europa Conference really. So
Well, the next game's against Liverpool, so
oh,
they're probably going to lose.
probably yeah. I think
And then there'll be 4 games. Arsenal will have 4 games on them on the same amount of points, and probably could go ahead of them just off goal difference.
well, things aren't looking good for West Ham.
No, no, they probably aren't.
Uh,
Probably have a lot of injuries.
probably. We'll move on to the new Champions League layout. Obviously, it was mentioned in the mud group earlier today.
I'm not gonna lie, didn't see any of it.
Oh, right. So, I mean, obviously, it was mentioned during the Super League chat last year. Um, if I quickly bring it up. So, obviously, from 2024-25, the rules include 36 teams in total, which is four more than it is currently. The group stages are being replaced by one big league table. Each team will play 10 games in the first phase, 5 home, 5 away, which means 100 additional games. So obviously more televised matches, meaning more money for them. The top 8 sides in the league in the league phase will automatically qualify for the knockout stage, and teams finishing in 9th to 24th place will compete in a two-legged playoff to secure their path to the last 16.
So there's 24 teams, but only 10 games.
36 teams, but you only play
36 teams, that's ridiculous.
yeah. Teams will only play 10 matches.
Like the most fun is the Champions League draw. People love the Champions League draw. Why are you getting rid of it to do this rubbish thing?
I remember when it
Teams
was first
are
mentioned,
already
there was.
complaining that they barely have enough time.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, you've got like Klopp, especially, that is complaining because of a lack of squad depth. Obviously, there's been Ralph Rangnick as well. They've both mentioned about the binning off the Carabao Cup. Um,
It's just like, there's so many games now, and adding more games in is just going to mean that it's going to be harder.
yeah,
The season will end later. They'll have less of a break. It's getting a bit weird. Trying too much, it feels like.
oh, definitely. I mean, like, yes, it was a weird time when they mentioned it because obviously it was kind of under the radar because of all the Super League talk. But I feel like essentially this is the Super League, but with obviously a lot more teams.
I don't really understand it because, like, what happens if a team draws the 10 players the 10 teams they're going to get, the 10 worst teams in the Champions League? Sorry, but how is that fair if, say, Real get every single non-major top 5 league team as their 10 games?
No idea.
At least with the groups, it's somewhat seeded.
I would ish.
You know, you have the two. Normally, you get two big-ish teams, that sort of dark horse team, and then you've got the stinker.
Yeah, I would assume they'd stick with the seeded teams to kind of make it fair, I guess. But
But at that point, where's the point of having the table?
I don't know. It's just that when they did it at the time, I think it was obviously the Super League was kind of happening. They wanted to try and make it seem like that, but not have it look as scandalous. Um, and I mean, like mentioned, I think what is it? UEFA get 51% of the revenue from it, with the clubs getting the 49%, the other 49%.
That's
Uh,
ridiculous.
yeah, UEFA will earn 51% of the TV rights from the new UCL format. 49% will go to the clubs, and it's because of that the Super League seems to be back on the rise, with Real Madrid, Juventus, and Barcelona changing. Uh,
I don't think the Premier League fans or teams would dare to do it.
I mean, obviously,
I know they make a lot of money, but I think there'd be a lot of issues. And if they do talk about it again, I hope the Premier League put some horrible sanctions on them.
yeah, they should, from the fact that it last time, really. And I
The
don't.
last time was like what 11 mil between the
Well, yeah, it was just
5 or 6 clubs.
a mere slap on the wrist. Not even a
Yeah,
slap on the
it's
wrist.
like
That's the worst part.
it's just I don't like the idea of the Super League.
Yeah, it is an awful idea.
I know people like, yeah, we want to watch our team play the best team. But you also like to see them play the shit teams because then you can win some games and you feel good about your team.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Obviously, that's with the Champions. That's what the Champions League basically is. Obviously, you play the best teams, but you also get to play a bit of an easy game.
And then you go into the knockouts where you could get a pretty easy team draw, or you could go for like a proper big competition,
Yeah,
and it's just more interesting. It's like the FA Cup. People love it when the underdog win.
but that's the thing. The underdog wins. You get a good underdog story, and like, I mean, what was it a fair few years ago? What was it? Salford? No, not Salford. Fuck. Oh, what was it?
Salford, anyway, you're talking.
Um, Lincoln was it?
I don't remember. There was the all I can think about is the Sutton United one with the guy.
That's the one. Sutton United. Wait, is it? Or is that just the fat
That was
keeper
where
who
the
ate the
key
pie?
the keeper ate the pie and got bad and some bets when
FA Cup underdogs. Here we go. I mean, obviously this season we seem to have Boreham Wood. Um,
I mean, as we said, Middlesbrough have just knocked out two top six clubs.
well, yeah, Middlesbrough as well. Keep to be doing the business. Could potentially be a third. If I mean Chelsea stay with their below par performances. Uh,
I think Chelsea would win that game, but it'd be an interesting game.
oh, definitely.
I don't really know. I think the Champions League thing. I don't know why you'd need to change it.
I don't either. I think it was just a money decision, really.
Yeah, it's just like there's no need to change the Champions League format because it's worked for what 20 something years and it's been some of the most exciting football and given us some of the most interesting nights in football history.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, recent years we've had Spurs, Ajax, Liverpool, Barca, had Barca, Roma, Barca, PSG, uh,
United, PSG, that
United, PSG. Yeah,
weird game, and even in history, you've got the Istanbul, the United, the Bayern Munich United one in '99.
yeah.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's the thing. If it's not, it's. I mean, it's a cliched phrase, but it's, and especially in this instance, it's a phrase that really needs to be kind of stamped.
Yeah,
Um,
there's just absolutely no reason to change anything in it.
but then it leads to conversations about what would happen with the Europa League, the Europe Conference League that's just come in. Like, what do they stick? Do they stick with their current format of a tournament, or do they change to a league as well?
And even with the Conference League, they have a different style of tournament to the Champions League because if you finish top of your group, you don't have to play the next round of knockouts. You just go straight through.
Yeah, exactly. That's.
Because that's what happened with Basel.
Oh yeah, yeah. I hope they do well against Marseille, but it will
Well,
be
yeah, obviously.
a tough one for them. Obviously, I think Marseille and Leicester are probably the favourites for the competition. Um,
Yeah, probably.
but, fingers crossed. Uh,
Yeah, it was a big game. Oh, Roma are in it still.
oh God, shit. Uh,
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
but I don't really know what they expect.
Roma have been a bit
I don't get
on
what
and
they.
off really this season. We've had their moments, but they've also been at the other end of the stick with it. I don't know. It's Mourinho's a weird manager at the minute.
Yeah, he was good at United. He did what he needed to do. He was actually pretty successful.
Mm.
I didn't. I hated the way he played. Didn't mean it was bad. He did what he had to do.
Yeah.
He had Ibra though, so you got to take everything with a pinch of salt because he was ridiculous. We had that was like prime Ander Herrera years
And Herrera. Why did you sell him?
because our club is fucking stupid.
Good point. Um,
Pretty sure he went for a free as well,
really?
something like that. It was something ridiculous.
Fuck's sake. Oh man.
We had Pogba. Mata was actually playing well. Ibra still had Rooney. That was the start of Martial. Decent Lingard. Michael Carrick was still playing.
God, Michael Carrick, what a player he was.
That was the first season of Rashford. Still had Valencia, Marouane Fellaini.
Hey, man. Weird to compare that United team to this current one.
Do we? Do we have to do that? But in goal, it was David De Gea. Similar De Gea to he is now. I think he was probably better back then. But
I was gonna say he's getting back to it now, but
yeah, he stumbled a bit after the World Cup, but still very good goalkeeper. But I think probably top two goalkeepers, maybe three goalkeepers in the league.
mhm.
Uh, Defense by Jones and Marcus Rojo. I mean, Varane and Lindelof are probably the best partnership we have, so they're probably better than those three centre backs.
Yeah.
Uh, Obviously, Pogba probably still playing better this season than he did for that entire season.
Mhm.
We had the Pie, played him like 4 times, I think. Yeah, he made 7 appearances in that entire season,
Oh wow.
and then got sold, and then just decided to tear shit up in the French league.
What didn't work for Depay?
Probably he got the number 7.
Oh shit.
I know for some clubs that's like, oh, it's just a number. You get the number 7, you've got some most ridiculous. You've got two of the best players to play for our club have worn the number 7. Three of the best clubs have been the number 7. You got George. You got George Best. You've got Beckham, and you've got Ronaldo. That's pretty hard to live up to, and you just expect as soon as you get the number 7 that they're going to be incredible.
Yeah. That's the thing. Numbers with certain clubs, you've got a fucking hell of an expectation to live up to. So
Yeah, because everyone loves to live in the past with teams. I don't know who Arsenal's current number. Who wears the current number 10? I think it might be Smith Rowe.
Oh yeah, Smith Rowe. But then you've obviously got.
But like, as soon as if I see an Arsenal player with a number 10, all I can think about is Ozil.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe is obviously playing out of his mind and deserves the number 10 if he wears it. Yeah, he does. But a lot of expectation that players put on. That clubs put on players.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the number, and then, like we mentioned earlier, I think price, with the inflation, price puts way too much pressure on a player than needs be, really.
Yeah, because you can't really say to someone, "Oh, I think you're worth £100 million."
Yeah. Obviously, clubs can value a player like for Jack Grealish, for example, like Villa, they can value him at 100 mil. That's fair enough. Obviously, he's an important player to their team. He was their best player. Obviously, they lose him, they're going to be. I mean, as we've seen, going to be fucking a lot worse. Um, but I don't know. Valuations, I think, especially in 2022, are a bit fucking mental.
And I think the problem with transfers now is people just expect that, oh, you're buying someone for 120 million it's because he's worth 120 million. He could be. It could also be how long he's got on his contract
That's the thing as
that,
well.
that does the bulk of it. Because if when players like the Sakari has 6 months on his contract, Sakari is not worth. He's not like a £7 million player,
No.
but he went for that because his contract. I'm pretty sure Grealish signed a 5-year deal a couple of months before City bought him.
I think he did actually, because I remember seeing a video from the Villa owner basically just explaining the decisioning, and I think it was mentioned about the contract that was signed. So I don't know. It's a weird one. To look at it in the
Yeah,
grand scheme of things, it makes sense.
because I think like at one point sounds really bad now, but at one point Greenwood was the most expensive player in valuation
Yeah,
because he was what 18, scoring goals, really good potential. No one knew he was a cunt. Just signed a long contract, massive valuation. Would he have gone for more than 80 million? Probably not. But then he's a cunt.
yeah, he's fucking massive cunt. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Money's just going to become even more of an issue in the future. Um, but
I think financial fair play is really going to have to actually do his job.
yeah, like I mean, Chelsea got lucky when Abramovich came in. They didn't have financial fair play. City during this, I think it was when Abu Dhabi came in. Actually, was when FFP was starting to maybe come into fruition. But
Yeah, I think it's and I think obviously as a Newcastle fan, you kind of have mixed feelings about it because you want your Saudis to own the sponsors that give you all the money so you can make lots of transfers.
yeah,
But then it's just really, really unfair. Because for the big companies, the clubs can just funnel loads of money in and spend stupidly.
I think for us as well, with like with the label of the richest in the world, I think we're gonna have FFP basically watch closely
Oh yeah, massively.
because we've got the money to just fucking like, basically we could literally buy the league this summer.
Yeah, you
But
probably could, but hopefully FFP will stop that from happening.
yeah, I think it's. I mean, thankfully, I know it probably sounds weird me saying this, but thankfully because of FFP, obviously we won't have an instant success. I'd rather watch us kind of work our way up
Yeah,
and build up
yeah,
gradually
definitely.
because it would feel more realistic. It feel like we earned it more, and it feel more work towards rather than just a chuck worth fucking what 300-400 million at the cause and go straight to top four challenge. Like that's it doesn't
And
feel, wouldn't feel
you,
real.
you'd want to see the youth players being given a chance and being like played in and like mainstays in the team, not just going and buying youth.
Exactly. Like I mean, with Matty Longstaff, especially when Bruce was in, like I
Fucking hate
thought,
him.
yeah, where Matty or Bruce?
Oh no, I love Steve Bruce.
Fuck you.
He won us a couple of Premier Leagues. Matty Longstaff, fuck off. He was
Oh
shit,
god.
and then he played United, and then he was really good, and then he was shit again.
I didn't think he was that shit, but I mean, obviously, Man U against Man U, he was fucking class. Like,
He
Matt.
played like fucking Zidane.
Oh, that goal he scored to make it like obviously for the 1-0 win in the I think it was 18-19 season.
Whichever one,
Wasn't it?
both Longstaff brothers just decided to play out of skins against us.
I think it was 1920 actually.
I thought
But
it was like last season.
no, but he was injured last season against Hughes, so he didn't play. But I think it was 1920. I remember when he scored that and watching
It
the
was like a
videos.
ridiculous goal from outside the box.
Yeah. It was. What was it? I think Willems had cut back. I think it was Dan James he'd sold, and then played it.
I mean, anyone could sell Dan James.
Hey, shit. I hate Dan James with a passion.
I loved him, and then he just couldn't do what he wanted. Like when you watched him, there were parts in the thing where he was like, he was perfect for Ralph Rangnick just 2 years early. He would like sprint and press and do all of this, but he just couldn't fucking hit a barn door. Like if he fell out of a boat, he'd struggle to hit water. But he was like at points he was the only one that wanted to like press and win the ball back and actually like attack.
Yeah.
I don't know how many United games you actually see, but there's the amount of times that we're just passing it around so slowly. It's fucking killing me. Dan James would get the ball and he'd actually try and run at the players.
Hmm. But,
He's so shit as well.
he is in all fairness. I mean, for Swansea that season he had, it was fucking quality, but it's
Yeah,
just
we nicked him off Leeds as well, which is even fun.
to then sell him to Leeds. Or is it
To then
alone?
sell him to Leeds for more. Now we sold him.
I sold. Oh god.
We sold him so that because it was something to do with the shirt changes because we'd given Cavani the 7 or Ronaldo. Dan James wore the 21, which is what Cavani wore for Uruguay. So they sold Dan James so that Cavani could go, well, I want that number, so Ronaldo could be given the number 7.
Mm.
Or some other convoluted bullshit. But we sold him.
Fair enough. I seen a video actually, I think it was a couple of months ago about someone saying that Rashford and James was like a proper deadly duo. Even though I think pretty sure they scored 4 goals between them, like where they assisted each other.
Oh,
But
they started off really well because everyone was like, oh my God, we're going to actually have those like really quick wingers to play the counter attack that we like to play.
yeah, they had the potential to like be like a fucking deadly duo, really.
I mean, Rashford still does. I think Rashford will still probably he'll pick his form back up.
Yeah.
Whether or not he stayed at United for the whole time, I don't know. But I think I fucking hate United fans.
Same.
Just like sometimes people just come out with the most ridiculous things.
That
There's
United
always
trio on Twitter.
ones on Twitter. Oh, I've blocked him. I don't even like Mark Goldbridge either.
Oh really?
Yeah, I really hate this whole idea that we're the greatest team to have ever played football. Like we're not.
Hmm.
City aren't the greatest team to have played football. Liverpool aren't. I was just sick of these like these Twitter fans that just they only care about stats. Like, oh, if we win 1-0 in the 90th minute, oh, it's the best thing in the world. We've been shit for 89 minutes.
Hmm.
I don't know. I grew up with my dad. My dad was at the '68 final.
Yeah.
He remembers watching that. And he also remembers the horrific times from that point on, where we got relegated and all of that.
Yeah.
The football fans only care about the Premier League, only know about the Premier League, like the Premier League era.
Mm-hmm.
Just assume that United are the greatest team to have ever lived.
Yeah.
And Twitter fans just shit.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone that has a footballer's face as their profile picture or in their name. So Thomas. So,
Yeah, it actually
yeah,
annoys me a little bit when people are on about fucking like with people with football pictures on Twitter, sorry, and they'll like try and come up with some like fucking top opinion, or they'll try and be
and
like one
it's
of them
just
in the know
terrible.
accounts.
And that trend where it's like, oh, this player at 19 versus this player at 19.
Yeah, I hate them.
Players develop at different rates. Like, Ibra was, very good. He wasn't like amazing,
Mhm.
but he's still able to put up very good goal amounts for his club.
Yeah,
And you see other players that peak very young and get injured. I don't remember how old R9 was when he retired, or you see other older players that still go off to the minor leagues, like Iniesta in Japan.
yeah. Well, yeah, the thing is, obviously players can go off to different leagues, excel there. Obviously, the academies as well in the modern day help to make these youngsters much better from the get go.
Yeah,
Whereas,
definitely.
obviously, you've got the likes, like you say, Ibra, who wasn't as fortunate.
Well,
But
no, because he was still coming through. He was in the Eredivisie because he was at Ajax for a while, wasn't it?
oh yeah,
But like loads of players don't hit their peaks at the same time. Like Salah, Salah hasn't only really like hit his peak when he came to Liverpool.
yeah. Mhm.
He was great for Roma, but he only hit his peak at Liverpool. Since then, he's won Champions League and Premier League.
Yeah. But I don't know. Football Twitter can be the best and worst thing.
He's great when something like big is happening and all the memes come out.
Yeah, like the Super League. The fuck that was. I'd say probably the best football Twitter.
As soon as any opinion is ever put on Twitter, that's when you know it's just going to go downhill.
Yeah, definitely.
You just even the like football Twitter with jokes that I have nothing to do with it, like the Molly May joke,
Yeah.
like the tweets just like, explain in terms of football. But beyond that, it's a fucking cesspit.
Yeah.
There's always United fans. It's United fans and Arsenal fans that are the worst.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Um,
And
uh,
Chelsea fans just because of Johnny P.
that was funny this morning. Because I was trying to go to sleep, but I had like a fucking
I saw that. Very fun.
I had like a little feeling that like I should check my phone for something. I was expecting like a text off me my mom or something like that, and I just saw fucking Johnny like just start like going like saying that I had a really bad call with that. So yeah, that was quite funny. That was quite funny. And then fucking John starts typing. Johnny just instantly takes a fucking shot at John.
It's just great, isn't it?
It is quality. Um, I mean, like I don't know. Like I said, It would depend on different viewpoints. I think obviously it's one of those what ifs. Um, or like if my anti wheels should be a bike or some shit like that.
Oh, what if they'd had the choice between Chelsea or Newcastle?
Yeah, like obviously it's completely different ends of the scale. If you were to compare the teams, obviously Chelsea's ahead, but if you were to try and put them on par with each other, it's
I guess it's really how you want to. If you want the short term success, or if you want to do what Abramovich did, which was invest in the other places.
yeah,
Everyone likes to talk about Abramovich and his dodgy dealings with the Putin, and then also what people say is buying the league.
hmm
But he also put the money into the Cobham youth team, which is now the largest youth squad in the league.
yeah,
So I'm pretty sure. I think every team at some point has a ex Chelsea youth player in it.
Probably.
But I don't know. I think if the Saudis do it properly and they build the club up properly and don't just expect short term success.
The way they're talking, like, obviously the Saudis haven't said a great deal. Obviously, it's mainly just Yasser Al Rumayyan that seems to be um, the kind of Saudi focal point for the Newcastle chair. Um, but it seems to be more Amanda Staveley, Merdad, who seem to kind of be the front runners of the actual ownership of the club. Um, but the way they've been speaking, obviously, they've basically been saying everything we want to hear, which is probably expected. Uh, but it definitely does seem like a bit of a promising future. Obviously, they seem to care about the club, care about the fans, want
It's a great
us to do
it's
well.
a great opportunity to build up like Newcastle as well, the town centre and the areas around it.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about training ground, like a public training ground built. I think there was
Especially in Newcastle, where it's such a one club town.
yeah. I. I mean, that's what I was trying to say. Yes, this morning. I'm not very good with wording stuff, so I kind of did butcher it with some of it. But John summed it up perfectly. Like, obviously Newcastle is like you say a one club town, and it's very much a die-hard fan base. Like, I mean, we got relegated again 16-17 season, and we were still selling out week in, week out in the championship. Uh, like we've obviously dealt with Mike Ashley for a good 14 years, but we'd still support the club as much as we could. Obviously, a lot of people would boycott matches, refuse to buy stuff, blah blah blah. But there was still about no less than 45,000, I think. I think lowest maybe was 43,000 in the stadium, but we were still getting a lot of numbers in.
Yeah, I think Johnny just got offended. I think he took some of the stuff back at the end.
Yeah,
because I think he realised the points he was trying to make.
I don't mean any offence to Chelsea, and that's like they're a fantastic club and all that. And obviously, if you were to choose between Newcastle or Chelsea, you'd probably pick Chelsea 9 out of 10 times. But it's like I say, it depends on how you would view it. Like I understand the Saudis probably don't care about us fans or whatever, but it's the other owners that we have that care about the fans, the club, the city, and it's just to kind of wait. I mean, it's cliched at this point, but to unite the club.
Oh, I see what you did there, Newcastle United.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's been used a lot, and it's probably a dead saying at this point, but it's something we've needed for a long time. But it's just
it'd be nice to see Newcastle get further forward. Sorry, a bit higher up in the league and stuff.
I mean, it still feels surreal to me. The fact that we're not owned by Mike Ashley, because all I've known is Mike Ashley. Basically, I wasn't old enough to remember.
Yeah, it'd be
before.
like when United finally get rid of the Glazers.
Yeah,
but I think the Glazer ownership is always overlooked currently just because of Fergie.
Yeah, definitely.
Fergie could hold his own, but you haven't really had that major manager. Sorry.
Yeah.
Other than our Lord and Savior Steve Bruce.
Fucking. I'm not. No, I'm not even going to talk about him. I'm not even going to talk about him because it's pissed me off already.
I love the fact that you hate him so much.
I honestly despise with a passion. Like as soon as you mentioned him, like I mean, it's what 1 hour 44 into it, and like you mentioned him, and I literally I clenched my fist. I don't know if it's in shot or what, but
Oh no, he's just a shit manager. He should have left years ago.
yeah. There's been so many thingies sent to West Brom, like just apologising basically for the fact that Steve Bruce is fucking wank.
He's just one of them managers that just needs to like give up now.
Yeah.
Like him and some of the older ones. You know the ones that managed like 18 different clubs recently.
Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, he just needs to retire.
Yeah. I mean,
But I've nothing against him. It's just shit. It's like honestly, Mourinho. I think Mourinho just needs to retire.
yeah, he's over the hill, Mourinho.
But I think he should have just retired after he got sacked by United. Because then he went to Spurs, and then he went, and he's at Rome now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, at some point, you've just got to say, yeah, fuck it, I'm not playing anymore. I'm not doing it.
CBA for this shit.
Yeah, my hair's gone grey since I did it. Because you forget how long Mourinho's managed.
Oh, he's been in management for fucking ages.
Because he won the treble with Porto. He won the treble with Porto. He won a Champions League with Porto. That was in like 2005.
I think it was Inter Milan he did the trouble with.
Yeah, because he had Eto in that team. Because I don't even remember when he went to Chelsea.
Or was it 02 or 03 season? I think he went.
I have no idea.
Was it 03? Might be in 03 or 04 actually.
Because he did it twice, didn't he?
Yes, he's been at Chelsea twice. Because I know he did. I think it was 04 or yeah, 04, 05, 05, or 06. He did like the back-to-back league wins. So I'm pretty sure it was 03 or 04 he came in.
So I just looked it up. He was at Porto for the 2002 to 2004. Then he went to Chelsea. Then he went to Inter Milan. Then he went to Real Madrid, back to Chelsea. Then he went to United. Then he went to Spurs. Then he's gone to Roma.
There's a lot of talk about him coming to Newcastle as well, actually. I mean, there always
Oh,
has
honestly,
been.
you don't want him.
I think, yeah, at this point, I think it's kind of past it now. I mean, now would be the best time because obviously we've not got a shit owner. So it would be good for Mourinho, but I think it's just, yeah, like he's past that. He's past his best. Um, but I think
Yeah.
originally
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have taken him. Obviously, when it was first mentioned, I think for the Saudi takeover, yeah, years ago.
I think right off the back of United, it probably would have been a really good signing.
Yeah, definitely.
He went to Tottenham. Sadly, have a habit of killing. Well, have killed the last two managers they've had.
I mean, how long's Conte been there for? And he's already
Again,
fucked.
Again, like I said earlier, sometimes the players aren't there and the manager will get the blame.
Yeah.
Because he was brilliant in the Serie A.
I say with Inter, he did fucking wonders.
And then so was Lukaku. But I don't know. There's such a steep change from, one of the biggest clubs in European football to a relatively new, like smaller new team.
Yeah.
They should never have sacked Poch.
I think, yeah, nah. I don't know. I think the Champions League final kind of fucking rocked them and just knocked confidence for a bit.
I mean, there was only ever one winner of that. There was no shot that Tottenham were going to win that final. Like it honestly would have been a better game if they hadn't beaten Ajax.
Yeah, actually, it probably would have been. That was a fucking god awful Champions League final.
That was such a good Champions League year, other than the final.
That was as well. That's the weirdest thing. That the semi-final was fucking class. Yeah, obviously had the
There was so much
quarter-final.
that happened in there.
Um,
But I'm pretty sure round of 16 we played Paris, which was that how's your ball, and then Rashford twatting it.
yeah,
You had the obviously the Tottenham Ajax one, Ajax versus Real Madrid, where Frankie De Jong ran that midfield.
yeah.
God, that Ajax team has so many like great players in it.
Oh yeah, no, it was such a good team. Is it
Ziyech, Van der Beek, De Jong, De Ligt.
Tadic?
Yeah, but he struggled in and thingy, didn't he, in the Premier League?
I, feel, I said it, and as soon as I said it, I'm like, that sounds weird saying that he was class because he was shite at
He
Southampton.
was brilliant, genuinely brilliant. But Onana, Tagliafico, David Neres, brilliant.
Daily Blind.
How can you beat like Real and Juventus
Fuck knows.
and then fucking lose to Lucas?
Oh man.
Lucas is such a weird player because I swear he spent most of his career at PSG.
Yes, yeah, I think.
And then he got bought for Tottenham and just doesn't do anything. And then just has one amazing game and he's suddenly the best player at Tottenham. And then he fades to just, I completely forgot he played for Tottenham.
Basically.
But he does. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even start for Tottenham anymore.
Oh no.
But you're not going to start. You're not going to start Kulusevski. You're going to start Kulusevski.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that he is the second best Swedish winger in the league.
I like the confidence.
I mean, Elanga has been playing brilliantly.
Yes. I'll give him credit.
Like, I know the goal looked really shit against Oblak, but you got to put it in the net.
True.
And he's been better than Rashford.
Oh yeah,
Isn't
no,
hard.
definitely.
But he's what? He's 19.
19, yeah. It's an exciting prospect. It'll be interesting to see how he develops the next couple of years. So
Yeah. Oh, do you know that Elanga's dad played football in Sweden with Ibra?
oh really?
Yeah. Do you know how mad that is? Like Ibra is that old that he played with someone's dad.
Isn't it the same for Maldini as well? Like he played with
Yeah,
Paolo
Ibra,
Maldini and then he's playing with his fucking son.
pretty sure Ibra has played against both Maldinis. Played with them, sorry.
I swear Ibra scored in the past, what, is it 3 decades? Scored a goal in the past 3 decades?
But yeah, I think so. I mean, Ronaldo's as well.
Well, yeah,
Like
actually.
Ronaldo played against Zidane, had Zidane as his manager. He played with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as his manager.
Jesus, man. The fact that they're able to go at such a lot, like a fucking high age.
Yeah, it's just like how the fuck have they not fallen apart?
I mean, I'm 21 and I'm.
I remember when my back hurts when I stand up.
I was gonna say, yeah, I fucking ache when I get out of bed.
I remember when Ibra did his knee at United, and it was like, oh, that's Ibra over. Then he went to LA Galaxy. Then he came back to AC Milan.
Oh, man. Like, I can't even go for a jog without my ankle feel like it's gonna fucking snap.
Yeah, God. we're all just falling apart. I don't like it.
Oh, I've accepted the fact that like I'm gonna end up in a wheelchair soon.
Don't, because I probably will. I don't really know how to round this all off.
I was gonna say, any last words to send off?
Uh, I think this next season, the transfers, I want to say will be probably the most open a Premier League has been in years.
Definitely.
But saying that, it depends who buys Chelsea.
True. We apparently there's that. Is it Weiss? However you pronounce it.
I've
That
you
that
know, I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
I only saw it this morning on Twitter, but yeah. So
I just think, you know, Chelsea definitely have in Tuchel a brilliant manager. Klopp and Pep will have really good teams.
yeah.
I think uh, Arsenal are definitely going the right way.
Oh, definitely.
I personally think they probably should have sacked Arteta a while ago, but now I feel like they definitely made the right choice sticking with him.
Hmm.
I think if United can get a good manager and even a midfielder, then I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
And the smaller teams as well, like I don't mean to be rude, but like Tottenham and West Ham and Newcastle could have the potential to do quite well.
Hmm. It'll be interesting for Tottenham, obviously, because I mean, if Conte doesn't fucking rip his hair out and fucking shoot himself by then, uh, like it'll be interesting
I,
to see what happens because I
I
know.
think Kane might have missed his chance to go to City. I could be wrong.
I think he has to be quite honest. I think Conte is wanting to keep a hold of him and like do things with him.
I think Son probably could go elsewhere, and I think once that happens, Tottenham could really struggle
Yeah.
because those two have carried them for years.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Hundred
especially
percent.
they've got Eric Dyer as one of their centre backs.
Right, according to Conte, is one of the best. He's one of the best centre backs.
Yeah,
Oh, man. But no, his summer certainly has the potential to be one of the best summers ever for transfers. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
definitely, definitely. Obviously, we'll keep it going during the some of these podcasts. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few more in, have a great mass debate. Ha ha ha. But my jokes are shite. Please subscribe.
That's so bad.
But yeah, obviously with when it comes to the summer, we'll be able to have a better discussion about obviously how our teams are doing, how the bigger transfers are going through, um, and yeah, the fallout obviously from this season. So we'll be able to
Yeah,
involve John in the Premier League talks again for another year. So
and gearing up for the World Cup.
yes, exciting times. Can't wait for the World Cup, mate. So excited.
Can't wait to be in a mosh pit, dashing hot chocolate everywhere.
Honestly, it's gonna be fucking great.
I can't wait for it to just be fucking freezing at England.
I know.
Everyone's just going to be like, I'm really fucking happy to be here, but it's fucking cold.
So, man, I'm still not putting a coat on. I don't care. I'll just drink more.
Stick to the hard stuff that warms you up.
I'll do the trick. But yeah, next season's gonna be a fun one, definitely. So
Yeah, this is really good potential.
yeah. Well, yeah, that'll do for this podcast. Thank you very much, Dan, for coming along. It's a great chat.
Thanks for having us.
Um, yeah, all the links will be in the description for whatever, really. Socials, shit like that. Obviously, match day vlog back this weekend for the home match against Brentford, and then an away match next Thursday. so there won't be another podcast then. So there'll be a week break, unless I can figure out a way to record it on my phone.
Do it in the stand.
Just talking to you all in Discord. There's just a lot of fucking background noise.
Just hear screaming every once in a while.
Oh, if I can work out a way to record it, I probably will get it sorted. Next Thursday, because I mean I'll be bored shitless in the Travelodge. So
Where's the game?
at Southampton. So yeah, a bit first away day and probably the last away day of the season as tickets sell like fucking wildfire.
Do you have a season ticket?
I do, yes, but I don't have many points to get an away ticket. So
Oh yeah. No.
one of the better decisions I've made was getting the season tickets. So I need to try and build up the points, but I can't because every fucker buys the tickets before I get a chance to. So yeah, so if I can work out a way, we'll have a podcast up next week. If not, then I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe, and adios. Ow.